Welcome to Behavior Bordeaux. I'm your host, Maria Huntoon, a dog behaviorist and nutritionist that also has a big passion for wine. So that's what we do each episode here. We bring you a new wine with a new dog behavior topic. Today, we're going to be sipping on a lovely Cabernet Sauvignon while we chat about two important dog hygiene topics, grooming and brushing. I'm here at Oliver Bentleys, which is the dog deli and human hangout, the best place in downtown Savannah to bring your dog and to just hang out. It is at 409 East York Street in downtown Savannah. We're going to talk more about their grooming program in a few minutes. But first, let's get to this wine that we're going to be sipping today. This Cabernet Sauvignon is an easy drinking red from Hopland, California. It's called Bar Dog Cabernet Sauvignon. And of course, I love the label because I love anything that has dogs on it. But this is also a decent wine that you can get at your local Kroger or a lot of the local grocery or liquor stores for about $11. So it's really affordable and it's easy drinking. This is going to be a medium to full-bodied Cabernet Sauvignon. It has a polished, silky texture, a nice ruby red hue. You're going to have aromas of blueberry and black cherry on this one, with a taste of some ripe plum, some cocoa, hints of vanilla and spice, even a little bit of cedar. It has a long, deep finish, which means that's going to last a little bit and make it really valuable for what you're drinking. They do age this in French oak barrels. And something that's really fun about Bar Dog in particular is that they donate part of their proceeds to local rescues across North America. So all the more reason to support not only a cute label and a great wine, but a good cause as well. Cheers. This nice deep wine is going to go really, really well with a lot of those thick, heavy winter meat dishes. So thinking of venison or lamb stew, beef stew, steak, even a casual cheeseburger can go really nice. $11 bottle of wine, nice casual cheeseburger. What's better than that? This would also go really well with appetizers like bacon-wrapped dates and some hard cheeses like cheddar, aged cheddar, Gouda, even some Gruyere. So those make a really nice pairing with a nice charcuterie board there. Let's touch base with Oliver Bentleys owner Eric Zimmerman, who's going to tell us about his grooming options here at Oliver Bentleys, where dogs love to go not only to hang out, but get a little pampering at the same time.
Thanks, Maria. Grooming, there's a lot of different options out there, and depending on what's important to you, here at Oliver Bentleys, we specialize in individual attention. We only do one dog at a time. There's no kennels in here. When the dog comes in, it's the only dog in the grooming room. Now, some families have two dogs, so obviously they'll hang out together. But for the most part, we find it's a really good experience for the pups when it's one-on-one, hands-on attention. We have a lot of people with dogs that need a little more time and care. Our average appointment is 2.5 hours because our groomer, Miss Gail, really takes her time. And matting can be an issue. There's a definite technique that can be employed with different brushes. But if you want to know a little bit of the secret sauce, there's also, besides technique and equipment, there's also helpful aids. This is Chris Christensen's Ice on Ice Detangler. A little bit of help can go a long, long way. And more than anything, just patience. Just take your time and work through the mats. Now, as far as Oliver Bentleys is concerned, we specialize in small, medium dogs. We sort of cap out around 65, 70 pounds. And we provide grooming services by appointment. So give us a call, 912-201-1688. We don't have our calendar on our website just yet, so just give us a ring, 912-201-1688. Ask for Ollie B, and we'll get you hooked up. Right now, we're about a 2.5 week lead time. We're booked up just because a lot of people want the personal attention. So.
For those of you brushing your own dogs and not taking them to a groomer, I'm going to show you how to do some brushing techniques with my Shiba Inu Shiba. First, let me say there's many different types of brushing tools to fit different dogs' coats. There are different types of coats and hair depending on the breed. Some need something like a slicker brush, some need a furminator like Shiba. So we're going to go over those different kinds today. When you have a dog who has thin hair, like a Schnauzer, a Yorkshire Terrier, a Maltese, a Doodle, any of those, where their hair can easily get matted. And these are the dogs that tend to need grooming, like at Oliver Bentleys, for regular baths and regular dematting. A slicker brush is a great way to get rid of those mats, okay? Slicker brush has very fine little metal teeth on here, and through using the brushing techniques, go girl Sheba, and getting under there and pulling out the mat, starting from the top, working your way towards the bottom so you don't pull the skin. You can watch videos online about how to do that on dogs that already have matting, or you can take your dog to Oliver Bentleys and they do wonderfully with mats, as Eric already said earlier. I do not use the slicker brush on Sheba because Sheba's coat is very dense and thick. As a Shiba Inu, she has a very thick undercoat, so using a slicker brush is not going to get all of that hair out from underneath. That's the hair that ends up falling off and landing on my floor everywhere, which is why I have to vacuum so frequently. So what I use for Sheba, and you're being a very good girl here, is her Furminator brush, okay? This Furminator brush has little teeth on the end, that are going to help pull all of the dead hair out from underneath at the base of the coat. So when I put this on Sheba and I'm brushing, good girl, you'll actually see I'll get clumps of hair off of her as a result of using that Furminator. Good girl. Good girl. If your dog is not used to being brushed, it definitely helps to do it in short slices at first to build them up to the sensation of the brush on their fur or skin, and also so that they can lay calmly and quietly and not try to run away. And again, when I use this on her, you always want to move in the direction that the fur grows. Good girl. Okay. If you go up this way against the fur, then it's going to be very bothersome for her and she may not like it. Brushing your dog regularly is important for all sorts of reasons. Not only does it keep their skin and their coat very healthy, it keeps critters from choosing to live in your dog's fur. So having a good brushing routine will really help that coat be healthy, and critters, things like fleas and ticks, are not going to want to infest in a healthy coat. Shiba Inus are notorious for not loving being handled. So Shiba and I have regular brush sessions every other day, where we'll sit down and we'll use different brushes on her. Most of the time her Furminator. Sometimes I use a couple of other brushes depending on her coat and how much she is shedding at that time. Sometimes I use just a simple black comb. That is going to help me during the times where she's tufting, okay? Shiba Inus can have a tufting season like a lot of dogs with thick undercoats, Huskies and German Shepherds and other kinds of those double-coated breeds. So when they have tufts falling off them, where I could literally just go like this and pluck tufts off of Sheba, that is when it helps to have a simple comb like this, where I can simply just take the comb, put it down underneath where the tufts are, and pull them out. Now, right now, she doesn't have any tufts, but if you just take the tooths of the comb, gently put it down towards the skin, and you're going to pull out any of those hairs that are just sitting in there that are tufting. Good girl. Sometimes we also use an additional type of brush for Sheba with that really thick coat because she doesn't love being bathed, and so we try to not do that super often, only when she gets really, really dirty. Having a brush that actually has a steam component to it can help keep your dog's coat healthy and clean and help them stay smelling fresh even between baths. So this is a brush that I have that actually lets off some steam. It's a brand called Renew, and I press the button and it lets off a little steam. It's not a hot steam, it's actually a cool steam. But because of that mist, yes, I know Sheeb's right. She likes to smell her mist here because we do put some essential oils in it to help make her coat smell nice, but it is diluted in the water in the mixture. So we'll use that and we'll just brush in the same direction that the fur grows, but it really helps destaticize the coat and nourish and moisturize the coat because of the solution that's coming out in that mist. That's a good girl. Yes. And Sheba likes getting brushed, laying here and letting me rub her with this. It is something that took some practice in small slices because at first she could handle only a couple of strokes before she would get up and walk away from me. So now she's much more tolerant, but it's also because we make it a regular routine. And at the end of the time we're done with this brush, what I really like about this feature as well, I can turn off the little mist and all the fur will actually come off of the little, the rest of this is a coated slicker brush. So by itself, it doesn't get deep down in there, but after I use the Furminator, it's a really nice way to just smooth Sheba's coat on the top. And like I said, deodorize and neutralize it a little bit because of that essential oil solution that's diluted that I use in there. What is the best position for your dog to be in while you're brushing? It depends on the dog in terms of what the dog is comfortable with. Some dogs don't love being put on their side, so some prefer standing or sitting. There are times where if I'm sitting on the floor with Sheba, I will actually ask her to come into a close where I will sit on the floor and I will have her sit between my legs, and then she'll sit there with her back facing to me and I can brush her that way. There's also times where we can lay down and she knows a command that I call over, which means that I want her to lay on her side so I can brush one side of her body as well as her belly. So the way I taught her to do that is by using a little piece of food as a food lure, sticking it at her nose, drawing her body over to the side until she's laying flat and her neck and her body is flat on the side of the floor. So that wraps up today's episode talking about brushing and grooming. Please follow and like our page on Substack and on YouTube so that you can always get these little nuggets of wisdom and watch every episode of Behavior Bordeaux. The links are below, so please follow, like us, share, and stay tuned for our next episode in a couple of weeks. We're going to actually have wine and chocolates for Valentine's Day, so great wine to pair with our favorite Valentine's candies, as well as being able to celebrate massage, the art of massage with our dogs, and how do we actually build our bonds with our dogs through the art of massage. So stay tuned next episode. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you soon.